Congressman, we just got a Truth Social from the president-elect. I'm just going to read part of it because it is quite long and it is quite hard. He says there has never been a president who was so evilly and illegally treated as I. Corrupt Democrat judges and prosecutors have gone against a political opponent of a president, me, at levels of injustice never seen before. Corrupt judges or judges so blinded by their hatred of me and my political ideology to make America great again are making a mockery of the United States judicial system. Well, it goes on, by the way, but the bottom line is there's so many grounds for appeal on this case. First of all, the way it was brought by the local DA here, Alvin Bragg, and the way it was tried, a lot of areas in which it could be appealed. Is there any way to fast track that appeal before the president is inaugurated, or are we just going to have to live with this?
Well, the great irony in all of this is that I don't think anyone did more to help elect Donald Trump president of the United States than Alvin Bragg and Tish James.
Yeah.
In both cases, you had two rogue prosecutors who decided that when they were running for office, that they were going to go after Donald Trump. They said it. They ran on it. And then, in fact, did it. And in both cases, the charges make no sense. In the case of Alvin Bragg, he took what it would have amounted to, at worst, a violation of the FEC and turned it from a federal case into a state case and from a misdemeanor into a felony. That alone, the way this case was brought.
They ought to walk him out with his hands behind his back. Investigated. Yeah. Need to be held accountable. The judge and his daughter too. Go get the daughter too. Yeah. They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
It should have been thrown out. Just on the merits itself.
Congressman, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we've had so much breaking news. We only have a chance for one more question because of the Carter funeral, et cetera. Very quickly, yesterday we saw Speaker Johnson elected. A lot of people say it was because of the last-minute campaigning by the president-elect.
And she said that Judge Juan Merchan wants to sentence President-elect Trump to an unconditional discharge out of respect for the presidential immunity doctrine, and that means no prison time, no jail time, anything like that. But, to many looking at this, it does seem vindictive. Can you explain to us what this means?
Yeah, it does seem like vindictive, and this case really is lawfare at its worst, and more so on the Alvin Bragg end of it. But basically what he's doing is saying the conviction will stand, but there won't be any punishment at all. So again, that sort of begs the question, why not just dismiss the case and let us move on? And if you look at...
y'all. It's a disgrace, y'all. But everything happens for a reason, man. And quite frankly, we needed this. I know y'all hate to hear that, but just being real, man. Witch hunts, shams. They spend so much time coming after their political opponent. And look how it backfired. Not America, man.
The immunity decision, and the immunity decision basically from the Supreme Court said Donald Trump had immunity the entire time. It wasn't that they just created immunity for him in that decision. And the whole purpose was so that Donald Trump or any president could do their job without the fear of state officials or other officials interfering with it. And we're at a unique phase, this transition phase, which although he's not the president now, this is a critically important phase where he's putting together his administration that's set to take effect on January 20th. The last thing he needs is to be distracted and disrupted by this sentencing, which again isn't going to lead to anything. But another point that Judge Merchan, seems to be missing out on is this doesn't end the case, because Donald Trump can appeal this case, and he certainly will, and he has multiple avenues for a successful appeal, most notably the presidential immunity decision. So this case will continue on during his term, which again, it doesn't make any sense. There's no societal interest in this case going forward. And really at this point, the only people that seem to really defend this case are Judge Marchand and Alvin Bragg. Nobody else, even the most hardened Democrats, know this case was lawfare, and everyone is somewhat embarrassed by this case. And it really would make Judge Marchand and Alvin Bragg in particular would really restore some credibility to the justice system by just letting this case go and be dismissed outright.
Yeah, to your point, what interest does it serve? Judge Juan Merchan says he wants to honor the jury's decision here. Trump is on social media calling this whole case a charade that should have been dead on arrival. I guess, legal scholars will debate this for some time to come. But in the meantime, now the Trump team is going to have to try to stop this sentencing. Is there any chance that they can do that? They can stop this January 10th sentencing?
I think there's a chance they could appeal his ruling to a higher court, or maybe even try to take it to federal court again and make the presidential immunity argument as it relates to the transition. So I think there's a chance, and it really makes sense for this case just to go away. And just the other thing is, if Donald Trump wins on immunity, this case could be back in front of Judge Marchand during Donald Trump's term. So again, this thing never really goes away unless it's dismissed. I think a higher court should get involved and say the greater societal good is, getting rid of this case. Certainly Alvin Bragg has more than enough to do in New York with people getting pushed in front of subways and other things like that, that this shouldn't be high on his priority list, and it should have never been on his priority list. But yeah, there is a chance. I think they will do that. If not, there'll be the sentencing next week where Judge Marchand will probably make some sort of speech, again, trying to justify this case as its legitimacy, and then Donald Trump could go on to appeal. But it really is not worth the distraction. We just had a terrorist attack. We have all of these things. He needs to put his administration together, and this is a needless distraction, not only for him, but everyone in the country, when there's far more important things going on.
Facts. A disgrace. New York is a disgrace, an embarrassment. Y'all couldn't win from the get-go. You wasn't gonna win. As a matter of fact, y'all made it easier for him to win. 15 days, man. January 20th can't get here any faster. Let me know what y'all think of this, man. But our president isn't going to jail. That's what they all want. That's what they want. They didn't even want him to make it this far. They actually expected November 5th to be a different outcome. How did that work out? Yeah, the people have spoken. I love you guys. Bless you all and your families. Happy New Year's. I hope wishing everybody an amazing 2025. And January 20th can't get here any faster, baby. 15 days. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, y'all.